Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Frosty here with another video, and this one is definitely, was horrifying at the time of it happening. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing good myself, so let's jump right into this story time. So this story time all begins during my junior year, around the end of the year. But this day had started pretty normal, I got up from sleeping, and then I got myself sexy for school, all sexy. And then I waited outside for the bus to come get me, and the bus eventually got me. And the bus ride to my school was the most boring shit ever. Either you slept all the way to school, or you sat on your phone, which I fucking hated this shit. But anyways, I get to school and I go to my day-to-day thing, and fast forward about lunchtime, and me and the boys are just chilling, hanging out, not really doing much other than eating. And I remember dreading going to the next class because I hated this teacher so much. I've talked about him in another story as well, popped up on the screen. But for the sake of this video, let's call him Mr. Dickhead because that's what he was. And he was an interesting person, but you'll have to watch the video to find out who he was and what he did and what he was all about. But anyways, fast forward to when I'm in class, and he starts class by explaining what we're doing, which at the time we were working on a start your own business project. Which this class was an intro to business, which this project was actually really cool. I started like a sneaker reselling business, which I actually implemented in real life too. And I would say like 20 minutes pass in class and the announcement come on, which was weird because it was fourth period. And usually announcement happened first and fifth period because there was only 5 periods at my high school. Each class was about an hour and a half or longer. I'm not sure. I don't know, it differed. But anyways, the announcement is the principal, and she's like, "Hello, this is Miss Blank. I'm your principal, and we're going on lockdown. Lockdown, everybody. Lock your door. This is not a drill. Lockdown." And her voice was like super nervous and cracky, and I was just like, "Oh, I don't like this." I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person to start worrying, and then I get a massive adrenaline jump when I hear this shit. And not be a dick and go on my phone and start watching YouTube or whatever and start fucking around in class and making all kinds of noise. But yeah. Anyways, when everybody hears this, I fucking spring up and I put down like the covers on the windows of the doors. I put a table covering the door, which Mr. Dickhead actually helped me do this for both doors. And then I remember one of the kids in my class is gone, that she had went to the bathroom earlier, like towards the beginning, hadn't came back, and I'm like, fuck. It's definitely not good, but we couldn't do anything about it. Like, if she would have came to the door and knocked, we couldn't open it because it's not safe to do that. And we're just sitting there in silence, and one of the kids in class, let's call him Jason. Well, Jason had like a jock attitude because he was on the football team. And he was like, fuck this, bro, I'm gonna play my game. And immediately this made me annoyed and pissed off because, like, we're in a lockdown and he's just gonna play a game. And this kid, no joke, starts fucking playing his game on his phone with full volume. It was like, one of the stupid mobile games, and thank fuck Mr. Dickhead was like, cut that shit out, turn it off, and he turned it off. The kid listened, which was great, because I really did not feel like dying that day because of some idiot playing a phone game in class. But we're still just sitting in this classroom, which is quiet as hell, and in the hallway we all hear yelling and shit, which was surprising. And since we're relatively close to the doors and stuff, probably not a good idea thinking back on it. Not a good idea to hide in the classroom, but we were pretty close to the doors. But it sounds like when a cop yells and is getting closer and closer to our classroom, at least the area the class was in. And now we can hear what they're yelling because they're super close to the classroom. And they're no joke yelling at someone to put their hands up and crawl to them, which made me super nervous because they're literally taking down someone that was right outside of our classroom. And I'm like all hopped up on adrenaline. And then we hear like their boots going towards the main stairs of the high school down to the front office. Honestly, this gave me a big old relief because if that was the shooter, they had got caught and nothing really serious happened. But we're still in the lockdown and we're sitting in the room, no one really saying anything or doing anything. And then Mr. Dickhead, out of the blue, goes to his desk and gets what looks like a sack of something, like a leather sack, and he's holding it and he brings it to us and he's like, someone won't like this, to the head, with a proud ass look on his face, all stupid, and he's swinging it. Then he's like, fill that, and passes it around, and this fucking guy had a leather sack with a cube of fucking lead in it. And this thing was pretty hefty, like it would definitely do some damage to someone. Definitely hurt you. And people are looking on their phones because they're bored, and one girl just like out of the blue started crying, and the teacher is like, what's wrong, tell me. And she starts showing him something on the phone, and I was able to get a peek of what it was. And it was like a Facebook post with saying my school's name on it, and it said something fucking stupid like 4 kids dead in blank shooting. And at the time, this shit freaked me out a lot more than I already was, because earlier the lockdown we heard like really loud bangs, but they honestly sounded like doors being slammed open in the side of the bathroom, and we just ignored it. And we were like, oh, it's probably just the bathroom. But now I'm like, fuck. And now we're in the class talking to each other and whatnot. And the joking kind of relieve our stress, and it's working, and time passes on and cannot hear or see anything anymore. And we're still looking at Facebook posts that are saying people died at my school. But finally, for fuck's sake, eventually the announcement came back on, and the principal was like, this is blank and the lockdown has been lifted. I'm proud of you guys. More info to come on the shooting or the lockdown. And the whole time she's talking about this, her voice is like still super jittery and nervous, but at least we're done sitting in the fucking classroom and we're safe. And when we go to our next classroom and everyone is just talking about the lockdown, and the teacher is clearing up the Facebook post, she's like, no, nobody died, this was just a stupid lockdown, we'll know more information tomorrow, because it was like a Wednesday or something. And her telling us this, even though it sounded ridiculous, lifted a huge weight off of my shoulders, because I was definitely horrified during this experience. And school is going on, it ends, and when I get home, my dad was waiting for me, like, outside of my house, waiting for me to go to my bus stop. And he's like, what the hell happened? And I filled him in on the story. He was just like, oh, like, super disappointed, and like, I'm glad you're safe. And I'm like, okay, Dad. And for the rest of the day, it's pretty normal, you know? I'm just like, thank fuck I'm alive. And the next day comes, and I'm sitting there in Mr. Dickhead's class, and we're sitting like in a circle almost talking about yesterday, and the girl that went to the bathroom speaks up, and she's like, did you guys hear yelling in the halls? And we're like, yeah. And she was like, that was me. The cops got me, and I was trying to find somewhere to hide in the bathroom, but I couldn't. They got to me first. And we're like, damn. Which is horrifying, having the gun in your face, like, but that's way better than there had been a shooter or something. And she's like, yeah, they put me in handcuffs and they put me in the back of the SWAT van outside. And we're like, there's fucking SWAT here? She was like, yeah. She pulls out her phone, and like a video from her friend shows us a video of the SWAT team in the hallways, fully geared up with like AR-15s walking around. And yeah, just overall crazy and horrifying experience. And we found out that the lockdown was actually because someone had called in a bomb threat to the school, and gladly my school took action, because what if it was real? Like, and my school wouldn't have taken action, possibly I'd be dead right now, but I'm not. I'm alive telling this story. And actually the person who called in the threat was a student at my high school. They ended up getting charged and expelled, obviously. And yeah, everyone was okay, just a little bit horrifying. I remember basically every announcement after this for about a week. I was like, fuck, another lockdown. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and if you did, definitely drop a like on the video. And later, guys, stay frosty.